Greetings, mathematicians. We are back for round 2 of lesson 6, unit 5. Let's read it forwards this time. Unit 5, lesson 6-2, decimal dividends with powers of 10 as whole numbers, or with powers of 10 whole numbers. See, our objective, read it with me. I will use knowledge about multiplying by 10, 100, and 1,000 to dividing decimal dividends. And when we're talking about those three numbers, we are talking about the powers of 10. Say it out loud. Powers of 10. And a little bit of note about the powers of 10. This is going to be crucial for the metric system. Some of you have knowledge of the metric system. Others of you are going to have to wait until my lesson. What about that glare? But when we're talking about the metric system, we're talking about how most of the world deals with measurement. And by most of the world, I mean pretty much everybody but us, the United States. So here's my poor drawing of the United States. Let's do South America. Let's do Africa. We've got Spain, we've got the Mediterranean, going all the way up into the Baltics. Let's see, we've got England over here. And I think I'm missing half the world, but let's see how far I can get this drawing. All right. So most of the world uses these powers of 10 to convert measurements. So when you successfully multiply by 10, 100, 1,000, you can use the metric system pretty easily. But when we're talking about numbers that have decimals, it's going to be a little bit different. Similar rationale, but you need to see it. So let's take a look on the next page. If you need a moment to jot down your world, you can do that. Right. Next page here. Got a real simple example here. When we were multiplying in unit 4, 10 times 137, 137, we were looking at, oh, hey, 1, 0, the answer is going to be 137 with a 0 because we're 10 times greater. Oh, if we're going to do 100, 2 zeros, our answer is going to be 2 zeros on the end. We're getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So with decimals, it's a little funnier, okay? So when we're talking 10 times greater, we're really talking about that decimal. There's going to be two ways to look at it. Now, on my Post-it here, I'm just going to put down the digits 1, 3, and 7. In reality, the decimal is stationary or it doesn't move. Say it with me, stationary, doesn't move. It's the numbers that are moving. So if we're multiplying by 10, everything moves one space. How many spaces? 1. So let me give a guide here. So if I'm going to move one space, everything's going to move one space. So 1.37 times 10 is now 13.7. Equally, if I'm going by 100, I'm going one more space. Put a guide there so we can keep the spacing correctly. 1, 2, 3. Now I am 137 decimal 0. Do I need the decimal? No, but for this example, we're going to keep it. Uh-oh, going by 1,000. What do you think it's going to be? That's right. We're going to go one more space over. 1, 3, 7, blank, decimal. When we're in that blank zone, we got to put a 0 in. So it's 137, 0.0. Right? So we're multiplying. Let's divide now, okay? So if I'm going to, let's flip it. Let's start with 1.37 divide by 10. 1.37 divide by 100. 1.37 divide by, 1,000. So let's bring our number back to start. 1, 3, 7. when we multiplied, we were going greater. We were moving left for big. We're going right for smaller. So when we're dividing, we're inherently making something smaller. So I'll put a little guide here so I can get this right. Our 7 moves over 1. Our 3 moves over 1. Now our 1 moves over. We can kind of forget about that. So it's, well, we can keep the leading 0. 0.137. Also, 1.37 divided by 100. We're going to go 0.0137. So we're going to move one more space. Look, it's easier and easier. It's really just shifting everything. And again, when that space is there, we got to put the 0 in. 0.03. Last one, 0.00137. So we're going to keep moving and moving and moving. Now, this works really well when we have Post-its. When you are working this out for a problem, and let's see, let me move down here. Let's pick an example. I have 2.37 divided by 10. I know I talked about this being stationary and it doesn't move, but when you're working the example, just move it. We're going smaller. We're moving to the right one space. Think Central wants you to look at it this way. When you're on your iReady diagnostic, they might ask you about moving the decimal. This is kind of an older way of teaching it. That's how I learned. But really, the decimal stays in one place, and the numbers are what are shifting by 10, 100, or 1,000. If you were successful with multiplying, it should be easy enough to go the other direction with your decimal. All right. I look forward to checking in with you guys. Next steps. I think we're going inside. Oh, this is way too close. Our next steps are going to be, I believe, in our workbook. Let me double check my notes here. Yeah, page 180. So the thick book, class workbook, page number 180. You're going to see some samples here. And let's see. And then after that, you will be going to ST Math, and you'll see some more examples in ST Math. All right. All right, humans, I will see you in class. Remember, decimals.